Good day and welcome. To continue my series on drawing the human figure in advanced level, we want to talk today about a thing called foreshortening. Foreshortening is a very challenging subject in that it takes in a very important rule of drawing. And that rule is draw what you see. Not what you think you see, what you see. And you'll be surprised how often that drawing what you actually see will work as opposed to trying to make it up as you go. I can give you examples at a time. We will see a few examples later, but at this point, draw what you see. I'll give you an example of foreshortening. The way it works best to think of is if I put my finger in front of you like this right now, you will see that it is stretched out in the full length like this, and same with the thumb. And as I turn my hand towards you, the finger, instead of being this length, starts to shorten and shorten and shorten until it is coming directly at you. This is called foreshortening. Things that start to come towards you get shorter in a certain way. Let's explain that a little further in drawing. I have in front of you right now is a little drawing sketches that I've been doing practice to show you the very idea what I just said. Now, if I take, for instance, the human body, which I'm going to draft out right here over top, all right, from the shoulder over to the forearm, okay, and then to the hand right here, you will find that I've drawn the arm in full extension. There is a point right here, and a point right here, the elbow and of the wrist, okay? So this is the full length of the arm. Now, as you start to bend your arm toward, say the forearm is starting to come towards you, you'll find that the length, the space between here becomes shortened. That's what foreshortening really means. It's that it's not the idea of it just coming towards you, it's just that the lengths tend to shorten. So if I were to draw the same body right here, coming back to this, I put the forearm coming out, or the arm coming outwards to the bicep. Then we get the forearm as it bends. You'll find that the actual space between here and here will change. And if we draw what we see, we will see a bulge here and a bulge here, and it will come in a very short fashion this way. If I take my hand like this, and drawing the basic mitten shape as I talked about once before, it comes towards you. So this length here, from here to here, stays the same at this particular case. But this length here becomes shortened. And it becomes shortened in such a way that it is looking like it's coming towards you. We take that same idea a little bit further. We have the body right here, once again. And now if it comes directly toward us, here's the length here. This now, our arm between the elbow, or the shoulder to the elbow, you will actually come toward us, and it will be just, if we look at it the way we see it, drawing what we see, we will see that it's just a shape like this coming toward us, a little line like that. We will find another line like this to create the forearm, and we will see the hand then starting to come toward us in this fashion right here. So, from this length to a shorter length, this being the same because it hasn't moved, to actually straight on as it's kind of coming towards you, is that we have no spacing in some respects because it's right on as it comes towards you. Okay, that is the best representation of what I was talking about when it comes to the body and the arms. Let's look at this one again, but in the sense of a leg as it comes toward us. So we have our torso coming down to our hip. There's our pelvis. We got our line coming in here, our knee. All right, and we got a calf muscle coming down to the ankle, and then we have our foot right here. If we take this, we have from here a length to there, a length to the ankle, a length. Now, if, for instance, you start to raise your leg, you will find that the length from here, your hip, to the knee will shorten. So if I take a look at where my knee might be right there, instead of actually being this full length, it had become shorter. As I draw the length and the shapes I'm seeing, or outside contour lines, we talked about that before, as they come towards you, you will find that these will start to change in length. Now, in this particular instance, from here to here, we will find this will be relatively the same because actually it's just between the hip and the knee that it starts to become shorter as it is. Take one step further and come into this drawing, you will see that if I take, for instance, the body, and I'm going to draw out the other part, or the other leg rather, so that we have some context, some positioning for you to understand. As we come down into that, that's being the leg, the knee here. Now, if the actual leg is straight out towards you from the hip to the knee, you'll probably see, as you draw what you see, you'll see basically the knee, a shallow sort of distance between here and here. You may even see it straight on, in fact, if you do look at it, look and draw what you see. And then you will see the inner thigh as it's just the outside contour line there, coming down to our ankle, calf on the outside, and we will have our foot as it comes toward us in this sense. And now we have the leg coming towards you. So from straight to bending upwards to coming directly to you, the distance between things becomes shorter. So like the finger coming towards you this way, it becomes shorter and shorter and shorter. You really have to see the distance between each element as it changes, but also not just the distance, but the outside line or contours that you will be aware of as you draw. We take a body, for instance, you will see the same changes as that happens as it comes towards you in a slight way as well. I have a really quick illustration here. The body and a person whose arms, legs, and body is lying down. And as we have this laying down figure, we want to maybe turn it so it comes towards you. The distance between here, here, and shoulders, and here, they change, just like I said, with the hand or the finger changing. So in this particular case, this line right here to this line will become shorter with a slight different angle as well. We gotta draw what we see. We will start to see a little bit more of the forearm. We'll see a little bit more of the shoulder area and the head. We will, though, see a shorter distance between the shoulder and the point of your behind right there. You'll actually see a shorter distance as well between the actual back of your leg and thigh, going outwards with this one. You'll also see a shorter distance between there, the knee down to the ankle as it comes outwards. And you will also have that same change in the other case right there. And as it comes almost directly towards you, those changes as well will be found to be even shorter in distance, foreshortened. So to give you another example, as it comes even closer to us, you can see the twist and turn. From shoulder point to our behind is now a shorter distance than it was here, as it was shorter from the original, and that is foreshortened. You have to look at the space between this point and this point, or the gap between them. You also have to look at the contours, because the contour or outside lines will change as they go. From here to the ankle, those changes as well will also be a different gap as well. So if I were to draw that, calf, foot, heel that is, and then we come back in here. Always interesting when I draw, I don't really talk as well because I'm so busy with the idea of trying to render something in that sense here. So as you can see, the space is shortened as we come toward you in that interesting foreshortened way. I'm hoping you get the idea that basically foreshortening is how things on a straight, full-on length, up and down, side to side, as they turn toward you or turn away, will tend to shorten. The object of the drawer is to look at the gap difference, the spacing, the shortening that happens between one element and to the next, that space from there to there. And the second part is to look for the contour, outside line, to ensure that that actual outside line follows what you see, not what you think you see. To finally look at it, we'll come right to the full circle of our finger and hand the same way we did started. So we got the hand that comes down like this. If I were to draw that out roughly, again, I have roughed this out prior to just to ensure that you'll be able to see this easily and quickly. We get the finger and the thumb coming outwards in that fashion. As it turns towards you, the change between here and here, and also the knuckle differences, will also get shorter. And you will see that the spacing or gap will change as well. But also the contour, the outside line. And the outside line, as I have here, has changed its shape as well to ensure that I get the feeling of what is happening here. Observation is very key on anybody who is drawing. Finally, the most challenging way in which to draw a hand that seems weird, but you have to draw what you see. Let's come right back to it. Draw, okay, what you see. Too many students do not apply this rule. They draw what they think they see. They invent things to try to correct. And that one example, if I may, will be, before I finish here, is the idea that we have somebody seated and is actually sitting like this as you would draw it. Okay, I'm going to make a very quick example of this. All right, we get something like this where a person may be on a chair, the actual thigh is coming directly towards you. See the inner thigh, you see this length, and you will get this. But because it's hard to think that way, many students will follow through with drawing it as though they were looking above, because it's so much easier to try to think of the actual leg being still there. There is the knee. It comes directly towards you. There's only this shallow distance. There isn't this distance, and this is made up. And so therefore, somebody sitting straight on will often be twisted so you're looking down at the thighs as opposed to straight on to try to get that feeling as though there's still a leg there. This is the correct way. This is being invented. So to finish with the hand, if you were to have the hand, one of the most difficult things, drawing it straight on, if I were to look straight on, see the changes between one element to the next, you'll find that the knuckles at the top, down to the second knuckle, to the third, you'll find that those will be shallower, change greatly, and you have to draw what you see. So not only is the distance between elements to be recognized and thought through, but also the contour or shape of each of these elements. And if you don't draw the lines or the shapes or the contours that you are seeing, you will struggle to get that feeling of something that is coming toward you. So, to finish the idea here, we've got the changes in our knuckles. We have the ends of our fingertips, and we have the one coming directly toward us, pretty much as the same main one. There are some extra lines sometimes that we can place to put in to give us that feeling coming toward us. But we have to ensure that we're drawing what we see and not what we think we see. Once again, foreshortening is the change between the gaps and also the contours in which you'll see. And that needs to be practiced many times over to get the feeling of how those changes occur. The more you observe, the more you draw, the more practice you put in, the stronger you'll be. But look, once again, for the gap changes and for the shapes or contours in which you will draw. And that is foreshortening.